David Morrow proudly served Canada during the Afghan War in 2010 and 2011. When his back herniated, though, his whole life changed and his focus became fixing himself. The result is this book, The Nimble Warrior, and David joins me in studio now to tell me about his journey. Thank you so much for coming in today.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.
So there you were, 2011 in Afghanistan, and herniated back. What happened?
Yeah, it was just a routine patrol. And we just had a quick stop, and we weren't far from base, and I just went to go pick up my gear, and like I did every day, and just that day my back decided to herniate, and I didn't know what it was, and it kind of scared me a little bit, and I realized I couldn't really hold anything out from my body, and I just said, you know what, I think I'm going to be able to suck it up and get back to base and not have to get medevaced out. And then from there it was just pain medication and just the will to stay in the fight.
So from there, I mean, such courage. For 5 years, you lived with the pain and just worked through it until you finally decided you wanted to find another path forward. Right.
It was really after my son was born where I had kind of the Bohr's flare up where I couldn't really move, and I was stuck in bed. I had to miss work, and I realized I had to make a change. And so I basically found a personal trainer of my own, and then through a lot of self-study, I just realized that there was other tools that I could add to my training that would actually get me moving better again.
So can you tell us about some of the tools that you put into place that you learned about on your journey and that you're telling people about in this book?
Sure. The main one is self-myofascial release. So it's a big complicated word, but it's essentially massage, and you can do it at home. And you use implements. Most people know what a foam roller is, but I also brought some implements that we can use. So namely the tennis ball, and over here a lacrosse ball or something similar that's really hard can work really well, or a golf ball. Anything that you have at home that can get into the tissue really deeply is really effective.
So you would roll, like, let's say for fasciitis on your foot, you would roll your foot over the, explain a bit the process.
Absolutely. So yeah, plantar fasciitis, a lot of people know what that is. And it's exactly what we're talking about here. The fascia of the little band that's under your foot is inflamed. And when that fascia doesn't move, so the connective tissue, it prevents you from moving properly, and then it can get really, really tender. So absolutely, you can use the foam roller to alleviate some pain, but overall you can pretty much anywhere in the body, because your body is made up primarily of fascia in between the muscles and all the different blood vessels. If you have dysfunction in that one area, you can definitely work out what we typically would call knots, and that'll definitely help you in the long run.
Because you learn that a lot of Canadians live with chronic pain and just take painkillers and try to work through it like you were doing.
Absolutely. I mean, taking painkillers was part of what I had to do, but I realized it wasn't a long-term solution. And you know, well over 1 million Canadians suffer from chronic pain, and this is definitely a way to help that.
I want to mention that David is giving this book away for free. You just have to go to his website, thenimble-warrior-book.com/free. You pay the shipping and handling, and he will be donating proceeds to the Wounded Warriors Canada Foundation. David Morrow, thank you so much for coming in today.
It's great. Thanks for having me.